Hey, so if you think a software engineering interview is just about solving some abstract puzzle on a whiteboard, you might be missing the bigger picture. Today, we're going to break down the complete toolkit you need because, let me tell you, top tech companies are looking for way more than just a correct answer. So let's get right to it. What is a technical interview really trying to figure out about you? A lot of us think it's just a test to see if we can get the code working. But as you're about to see, that's barely scratching the surface. Yeah, it's not just about the code. Honestly, writing correct code is just the price of admission. What these top-tier companies are truly hunting for is a complete engineering mindset. They want to see the skills that prove you can build, maintain, and scale real-world technology for the long haul. And this isn't just some random checklist. It's basically a portrait of their ideal engineer. Of course, they want problem solvers, but they also need system architects, great collaborators, and true craftspeople who write clean, easy-to-read code. It's a whole picture of how you'll actually fit in and contribute to a team. All right, so let's break this down, starting with the very first pillar, problem solving. And the foundation for all of this? It's data structures and algorithms, or DSA. This is the absolute bedrock of your prep. It's totally non-negotiable. You should think of these as your essential tools. When you master patterns like the sliding window for arrays, or you know how to use breadth-first search to explore a graph, you're not just memorizing answers. You're learning how to break down a huge, scary problem into something you can actually solve. These are the patterns behind thousands of different questions. Now, here's a huge tip. This is what separates a good candidate from a truly great one. It is not enough to just find a solution. You have to understand how efficient it is. Being ready to talk about the time and space complexity of your code shows the interviewer you're not just thinking about making it work, you're thinking about making it work well. The biggest key here is to resist the urge to just jump straight into coding. Instead, you need to follow a structured process. Start by making sure you understand the problem. Then talk about a simple, maybe clunky, brute force solution first before you try to optimize it. This step-by-step approach shows the interviewer how you think, and honestly, that's often way more valuable than the final code itself. And that structured thinking is absolutely crucial as we move into our second pillar, system design. This is where we zoom out from a single algorithm and start thinking about the whole architecture. So how would you build something like Instagram or a URL shortener to handle millions of people all at once without, crashing and burning? To really nail system design, you need a whole new vocabulary. You've got to be comfortable talking about how you'd spread out traffic with load balancers, how you'd make things faster with a cache, or how to design APIs that other developers will actually enjoy using. These are the real-world building blocks of any big, robust system. A core skill in system design is all about making and justifying trade-offs. Take databases, for example. Choosing between SQL and NoSQL isn't about which one is better. It's about which one is better for this specific problem. Do you need that rock-solid consistency for financial data? Or do you need insane scalability for a social media feed? Being able to defend that choice, that's the whole game. And just like with algorithms, having a structured framework is your best friend. Seriously, don't just start drawing random boxes on the whiteboard. First, clarify the requirements. Then, sketch out a high-level view. Then you can dive deep into the tricky stuff like databases and scalability. This process keeps you from getting lost in the weeds and shows a really mature, methodical approach. Now, running underneath everything we build, from one little function to a massive system, is this idea of clean code. This just means writing code that isn't only functional, but is also readable, reusable, and easy for someone else to maintain. It's about writing code for other humans, not just for the computer, and that's a huge sign of a professional. Okay, so we've covered the big technical pillars. Now for the final section, your winning game plan. This is all about how you tie these skills together to really stand out during the interview. So what's the secret ingredient to all this? It's communication. A brilliant solution stuck in your head is totally useless if you can't explain it. You have to talk through your process, ask smart questions, and use diagrams to make your ideas clear. At the end of the day, you have to prove you're someone they'd actually want to be stuck in a room with, solving a tough problem. That's what great communication does. And for those behavioral questions, like, tell me about a time you had a conflict, the STAR method is your go-to tool. It gives you a super simple but powerful structure. You just describe the situation, the task you had, the action you took, and then the final result. It helps you turn your experiences into really clear, compelling stories. Here's a pro tip that will make you sound way more senior. Don't just list the technologies on your resume. Be ready to defend your choices. Explaining why you chose a particular database or a specific framework shows you have deep architectural reasoning, not just some surface-level knowledge. So, is all this sounding a little overwhelming? Don't let it be. This whole process can be broken down into a totally manageable plan. Spend the first month really nailing DSA. Then shift your focus to system design. After that, get some real hands-on experience with a project, and then spend that last week doing as many mock interviews as you can. It's all about consistency. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one thought. The whole point of all this preparation isn't just to pass an interview. It's to become the kind of engineer that companies are truly desperate to hire. Someone who doesn't just write code, but solves problems, designs systems, and shapes what's next. That's the real prize here. Good luck.